You gonna swing on me? That won't dance too much. Okay, he gonna swing on me. I ain't did nothing to that man, bro.
Atlanta nightlife is no stranger to drama, but what went down last night left even the most seasoned partygoers speechless. It was one of those nights where the city's most exclusive nightclub felt electric. The music was loud, the lights were flashing, and the room was packed with celebrities, influencers, and everyone in between. But while most came to dance and unwind, three familiar faces had unfinished business, and it was about to get ugly.
I just had to cool off, right? Just get my mind right, man, you know. But I really gotta get this off my chest, man. Cameras and all that.
The VIP section was buzzing, but Kirk Frost and Young Jock weren't their usual loud, animated selves. Dressed to impress, they were posted up in their corner booth like kings surveying their court. But something was off. They weren't sipping casually or laughing like the others. They had drinks in hand, sure, but neither was really drinking. Instead, their eyes kept sweeping the crowd. Jock leaned in to say something to Kirk, who barely nodded, keeping his gaze locked toward the center of the dance floor. To the average club goer, they looked cool and composed, but their body language told a different story. People around them were turning up, but Kirk and Jock weren't there to party. Their VIP booth gave them the perfect view of the room, and they weren't wasting a second. It was like they were waiting for someone to show up. And then he did. And then there he was, Lil Scrappy, unaware that trouble was coming straight for him. Scrappy came through like he owned the place. That familiar swag in his walk, the big smile, the confidence, it all hit the room the moment he stepped in. He was surrounded by his people, dapping up fans, hugging folks he knew, and clearly in his element. Laughing loud, clinking glasses, taking selfies with partygoers, Scrappy wasn't holding back. His energy was contagious. You could feel the shift in the club's vibe as people gravitated toward him. That's just how it always is when Scrappy steps out. But while most were drawn to the fun, a few sharp eyes noticed something else. Across the room in that dimly lit VIP booth, Kirk and Jock were still locked in. Their stares weren't casual. They were studying every move Scrappy made. The tension wasn't obvious to everyone, but those who picked up on it could feel it thick in the air. One dancer near the bar paused mid-twerk and turned to look toward Scrappy's booth. A couple of security guards quietly adjusted their positions. Even the DJ, halfway through a transition, slowed his tempo a bit, as if trying to figure out where the energy was heading. But every spotlight cast a shadow, and Scrappy was about to step right into it. Back at the VIP booth, things got even quieter. Kirk leaned in again, this time speaking lower. Jock nodded, glancing at his phone, then lifting his head and scanning the club. The vibe between them wasn't playful anymore. Jock motioned with his chin towards Scrappy's section. Kirk followed the movement, eyes narrowed. They weren't smiling. They weren't sipping, they were just watching. A waitress came by with another round of drinks, but paused when she reached their booth. Something about the look on their faces made her stop. She set the bottle down carefully, no words exchanged, and backed away. She felt the tension, too. The camera phones weren't out yet, but the real ones in the room knew something was going down. A few people sitting near Kirk's booth noticed how still he and Jock were, like they were waiting for a moment. Scrappy, on the other hand, was still laughing, but one of his friends leaned in and whispered something. Scrappy looked over his shoulder, straight toward Kirk and Jock's booth for a second, long enough to let the moment sit in the air. They weren't just watching, they were waiting, and the wait was finally over.
He gone. Let me go. Look at me. Look at me. Let me go. Look at me. Look at me. Man, I am frustrated, irritated, man.
It didn't take long for the calm to break. Kirk and Young Jock finally stood up from their VIP section and started making their way through the crowd. The energy around them shifted immediately. As the two pushed through, you could see folks step aside. It wasn't loud, no yelling yet, but something about the way they moved made everyone take notice. Scrappy was near the center of the dance floor, still vibing with his people, but he noticed the movement coming straight for him. As Kirk and Jock got close, he turned and gave a nod, like he was trying to keep things cool. "What's up?" Scrappy asked, throwing his arms open casually. He didn't sound tense yet, just curious, maybe even a little cautious. But Jock didn't respond with a smile. Kirk didn't return the gesture. Instead, both stood close enough that personal space wasn't even a thought anymore. The music suddenly felt too loud. loud for the tension in the air. But the tone shifted fast, and what started as words quickly spiraled into something way more intense. Jock leaned in first. His voice was still low, but his words cut clear. "We heard what you said, Scrap. You've been talking too much," he said, looking him straight in the eye. Scrappy furrowed his brow, confused. "Talking about what?" Kirk didn't wait for an answer. He replied back, "You know exactly what. Playing both sides, smiling in our faces and then running your mouth behind the scenes." That's when the real weight dropped. Kirk pulled out his phone, held it up like a badge of proof. "You think this ain't gonna come back to us? We got the receipts." Jock jumped in again. "You were at that studio last week talking crazy. Do you think people are loyal to you? They sent us everything." Scrappy looked at the phone, then back at Kirk. "That ain't even the whole conversation. Y'all take things out of context. I said what I said, but it wasn't how you trying to twist it," he said, voice raising just a bit. But Kirk didn't falter. He said, "Context or not, you said it, period." Now, with the so-called proof in hand, the heat wasn't just verbal, it was personal. The moment was getting heavier by the second. Scrappy's face was red now, his usual cool completely shaken. He shouted, "Y'all acting like I'm some snake, but I have been real with both of y'all more times than I can count." Scrappy snapped, "You think I'm scared of receipts? Half of y'all fake anyway. Ain't nobody loyal out here no more." The volume had changed everything. People who hadn't noticed before were now watching. Phones were coming out, the DJ turned down the music slightly, security at the edge of the dance floor started moving in, just enough to be ready. Scrappy pointed toward Kirk's phone. "You want to show people that? Show the rest too. Show what you said, show how y'all was talking slick about me when I wasn't around." This statement hit hard. Jock stepped forward, but Kirk held him back, saying, "Let him talk, let him get it all out." But Scrappy wasn't calming down. "I held y'all down, and now because of a few words out of context, y'all ready to burn it all?" The crowd was surrounding them now. Not too close, but definitely tight. It was like everyone in the club knew this was no longer about who said what. It was about trust, pride, and respect being tested right there under the flashing lights. You could feel it in the air. The final spark that would ignite it all was just seconds away.
I don't have nobody if y'all ain't with me. I don't have nobody.
I'm with you.
Like all that talking, cuz I need y'all to show me, cuz, for real.
Scrappy wasn't backing down, and neither was Jock. As the shouting hit its peak, Scrappy stepped forward, closing the little space left between them until they were chest to chest. Jock didn't move. Kirk saw it happening and moved in close too, shoulder to shoulder with Jock. He leaned in and gave Scrappy one final warning. "You might want to fall back before this gets real." But Scrappy was past that point. "It already is real," he said. A second later, Jock nudged forward just enough to provoke a response, and that was it. Scrappy pushed him hard in the chest. Jock stumbled back slightly, bumping into someone nearby. A drink flew from a table, glass shattered. The music didn't even have time to cut before chaos broke out. Kirk lunged forward, and suddenly everyone around them moved in. One of Scrappy's boys jumped in to pull him back, but that only triggered more pushing. A second guy from Scrappy's crew slipped trying to step in, knocking into another VIP guest. Drinks spilled, chairs tipped, and the crowd that had once been watching silently was now caught in the middle of a real fight. People screamed. Some started recording, holding phones high, as the dance floor turned into a frenzy of shouting, shoving, and flashing lights. Phones were raised, screams cut through the bass. The nightclub wasn't just watching, they were witnessing a full-blown fight. Security wasted no time. Within seconds, bouncers rushed in from every direction, wearing all back and moving with purpose. One grabbed Kirk from behind, yanking him out of the circle. Another person got between Jock and Scrappy before punches could fly. Scrappy's crew wasn't letting up though. One of his guys pushed a security guard off him, shouting, "Don't touch him like that." The bouncers doubled down, forcing the group apart with brute strength. A woman nearby screamed as a drink splashed on her dress. Tables were moved. The booth Scrappy had been celebrating in now looked like a storm had passed through.
Mean that.
As things began to calm, club staff started sweeping in behind security, helping push back the crowd, picking up broken glasses and trying to protect other guests from getting caught in the middle. The DJ, sensing the shift, killed the music completely. Silence fell, except for shouting from the front of the club. Kirk and Jock were escorted out through a side entrance, surrounded by 3 security guards. No words, just angry eyes and clenched fists. Scrappy's crew was pulled toward the opposite end of the club, one man gripping Scrappy by the arm, whispering, "Let it go, not here." Outside, club goers who had just witnessed the scene started posting immediately. Clips from different angles, voiceovers yelling, "Yo, that's Scrappy and Jock fighting." One person uploaded a 15-second video that got thousands of views in minutes. Another wrote, "Never seen drama pop off like this at a club before." People weren't just reacting, they were picking sides. Some said Kirk and Jock were doing too much. Others blamed Scrappy for escalating. Either way, it was all out there. The fight may have lasted seconds, but the fallout? That's going to last a whole lot longer. Kirk and Jock have business ties across Atlanta. Scrappy's got collaborations, club deals, and public appearances lined up. With something this public, it's not just about bruised egos, it's about real consequences. Lost endorsements, broken alliances, and possibly even legal trouble if someone presses charges. Well, what do you guys think about this whole situation? Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel for more videos.